Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes at the beginning. 5 years earlier, with Mallory, back when she was still pregnant. We see her sitting in her house painting, and her sister Jessica visits her. Mallory loves painting so much that she hasn't left the house for days because of it. Both of them are suddenly shocked by terrifying news on the television. Something strange in Russia is causing people to end their lives for no logical reason. They suspect that these people are seeing something that takes control of them and makes them kill themselves. However, Mallory brushes it off, saying it's too far away and that it's impossible for this phenomenon to reach them. Later, Mallory and Jessica go to the doctor for a pregnancy checkup. At the hospital, Mallory notices a normal-looking girl talking on the phone. After her checkup, Mallory heads to the bathroom while Jessica goes ahead to the car. When Mallory finishes, she is shocked to see the same girl attempting to kill herself, causing chaos in the hospital. Horrified, Mallory rushes back to her sister, telling her that the phenomenon from Russia is happening here now, and they need to get home quickly. On their way, they witness numerous accidents as people suddenly end their own lives. Mallory is terrified but tries to stay calm. Suddenly, Jessica's eyes change color, and she starts crying, as if seeing something that takes control of her. She loses control of the car, and despite Mallory's attempts to snap her out of it, the car flips over. Luckily, they survive the crash. When they get out of the car, Mallory is horrified to see Jessica throw herself in front of a large truck, ending her life. Devastated by what happened, Mallory grieves for her sister and runs with the crowd, looking for any means of transportation to get back home. However, the streets are in complete chaos. One moment a person seems fine, and the next they are not. An older woman notices Mallory and says to her husband that she will go rescue her because she's pregnant. But when the woman reaches Mallory, she suddenly sees something that affects her, causing her to get into a burning car and end her life. A man named Tom comes to Mallory's aid, telling her to look at the ground and not ahead. He supports her, and they manage to enter a stranger's house. Inside, they find a group of people gathered, trying to understand what is happening. Some believe it's something that takes control of the human nervous system, forcing people to end their lives. Others think it's a government conspiracy to reduce the population. They conclude that it's the end of the world and that they are all doomed. Mallory tries to call her mother but can't reach her. She cries for her sister, unable to believe what happened. Tom tries to comfort her. The next day, they are startled by a knock on the door. A woman outside is pleading for help. Douglas, the husband of the woman who died earlier, is very wary and doesn't want to let anyone in. Mallory, however, threatens him with a weapon, urging Tom to open the door. Tom agrees but tells the woman outside to blindfold herself to ensure she's safe and won't harm them. They also blindfold themselves. When she enters, they learn her name and that she is also pregnant and close to giving birth. She explains that she had been hiding in her house all this time, but was forced to seek help when her food ran out. She is deeply worried about her unborn child starving. Douglas is annoyed that their numbers have increased, especially since their food supplies are limited. They all agree that they need to go out and get more food, as no one is coming to help them. The homeowner suggests that they might be able to look at the affected people through cameras and screens without being directly exposed, as direct eye contact with the infected spreads the curse and causes death. He decides to test his theory, isolating himself in a room with surveillance monitors and tying himself up to prevent self-harm. At first, nothing happens as he watches the screens, but suddenly, his expression changes, as if he's seen something deeply disturbing. The others hear a noise from his room and rush in, only to find that he has ended his life. They quickly cover their eyes to avoid being affected. They are deeply saddened and distressed by his death. The story then shifts back to Mallory and her children in the present. They have been on the river for 12 hours when Mallory hears a voice calling them, urging them to remove their blindfolds. Terrified for her children, she hides them and grabs her weapon. Suddenly, a man infected by the curse attacks her, trying to remove her blindfold and expose her to the curse. Mallory fights to protect herself and her children, managing to kill the attacker despite being unable to see. Returning to the past, Tom gathers the group and tells them they need to go out to get food. Charlie, one of the group members, suggests going to the supermarket where he used to work. They cover the car windows with newspaper and navigate using GPS. As they drive, they begin to sense strange movements around the car, filling them with fear. They try to escape but accidentally crash into a tree. Fortunately, they reach the supermarket. Blindfolded, they follow Charlie, who has the keys and knows the way. Once inside, they start gathering food and supplies. Mallory becomes fascinated by a cage of birds and decides to take it with her. Suddenly, they hear a noise from the back door. The birds seem agitated, as if warning them of danger. It turns out that someone infected by the curse is outside, trying to get them to look at him and become cursed as well. Unfortunately, he is strong and they are not able to do anything to him, so Charlie sacrifices himself and throws himself on the infected person, and he closes the door on them, and suddenly they see blood, so he prefers to end his life so they immediately return home before they face other problems, and at night they are surprised that two of them left the house. Anyway, we go to Molly at the present time after 24 hours have passed, and they are still in the river, and unfortunately the boat is forced by her into a large car sinking in the sea, and this is what makes her son fall into the river with his bag of food, so Mallory wants to grab him quickly before the water sweeps him away, and she actually saves him, but she finds that all the blankets have also fallen, so she rows until she reaches the bank and tell them not to make any noise until she goes to bring them food and a blanket and returns to them again. And actually, she discovers an abandoned shelter and gathers what she needs. As she leaves, she hears strange noises, likely the spirits attacking them. She grabs her weapon and starts shooting randomly. She becomes scared for Mallory and decides to follow her into the forest. But before going, she ties herself with a rope to connect her to the boat. She keeps walking until she senses a presence in front of her. Suddenly, the girl gets pulled, but it turns out Mallory is the one pulling her back before anything happens to her. Mallory yells at her, telling her not to try to help anyone but herself. Eventually, she takes the boat and moves quickly. The story shifts to the past, and we see days passing by. Olympia surprises them by bringing a stranger into the house. Naturally, everyone is afraid that he might be cursed, so they grab their weapons and threaten him. But she assures them that he is a normal person and that she let him in because he was scared, just like she once was and needed help. The man introduces himself as Gary and explains that he was hiding in a house with friends until a group of cursed individuals attacked them, trying to force their eyes open. He managed to escape and knocked on every door for help, but no one opened for him except Olympia. However, Douglas doesn't trust him and forces him out of the house. Douglas is adamant about his decision until a woman sneaks up behind him, hits him on the head, and locks him in a room. They decide to leave Gary with him. That same day, Olympia starts experiencing severe pain, indicating she's about to give birth. Mallory is also surprised that she is going into labor at the same time. The older woman with them helps deliver the babies. Mallory has a boy, and Olympia has a girl. Meanwhile, Gary seems uninterested in what's happening and pulls out strange drawings he has with him. Suddenly, he removes all the paper covering the windows, revealing he is cursed and wants to spread the curse to everyone else. He forces them to open their eyes, attacking them. He strikes one of them on the head and then goes after Mallory and Olympia, opening the windows to expose them. Olympia succumbs to the curse and tries to take her own life along with her baby. Mallory quickly intervenes, takes the baby from her, but sadly cannot save Olympia. Mallory hides with the two babies while Gary attacks her. She threatens him with a weapon, keeping her eyes closed and shoots him in the shoulder. Gary retaliates, pushing her from the second floor. He then stabs Douglas in the chest, killing him. Gary tries to grab a rifle to kill Tom, but Tom manages to kill Gary first. He checks on Mallory and the children, and they are the only survivors left in the house. They decide to live in a secluded place and raise the children together. 5 years pass, and the children have grown. Mallory teaches them how to move around with their eyes closed, adapting to the harsh life they live. One day, they hear someone on the radio advising them of a safe place nearby along the river. The place is described as a school for the blind, where the strange creatures cannot affect people because the residents are already blind. However, the journey will take 2 days, and the river currents are strong. They are warned that someone will need to keep their eyes open to navigate at certain points. When they reach the end of the river, they will hear the sound of birds, guiding them to the safe place. Tom decides they should go, but Mallory is hesitant, fearing for the children's safety during the 2-day journey. Tom reassures her, saying they need to secure a better life for the children and cannot continue living this way. The next day, they go out to gather supplies for the trip. While searching a nearby house, they are attacked by cursed individuals who force them out. Tom tells Mallory to escape with the children, giving her his necklace. He then confronts the attackers with his weapon. Unfortunately, they spot Mallory and the children, forcing Tom to shoot to protect them. However, he is compelled to open his eyes, becoming cursed in the process. Despite this, he manages to kill the last attacker before tragically ending his own life. Devastated by Tom's death, Mallory decides to take the boat and head to the school for the blind. Back in the present, as they approach the dangerous river rapids, Mallory tells the children that someone must open their eyes to guide them. Her son volunteers, but she refuses. The little girl, understanding the situation, offers to open her eyes. Mallory hesitates, remembering her promise to Olympia to protect the child. She decides no one will open their eyes and attempts to navigate the rapids blindfolded. The strong currents overturn the boat, separating them. Mallory screams for the children to call out to her so she can find them. She manages to locate her son first and then the girl. They continue their journey, following the sound of birds. But the strange creatures try to distract and scare them. Mallory falls down a steep slope, losing consciousness briefly, while the children are separated and vulnerable to the creature's influence. When Mallory regains consciousness, she finds her son just in time before he opens his eyes. She desperately calls out for the girl, who eventually returns to her. Together, they reach the school for the blind, finding a community of people living safely and happily. Mallory is overjoyed that the children are finally safe and can live a normal life. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos.